What's up, guys, and welcome back to Let's Play EarthBound, or Mother 2. I'll probably just stick to saying EarthBound. Last time we found out that we have to go on a big adventure to collect 8 melodies to stop the evil Gygas from destroying the world. And I want to talk a little bit about this game's mechanics now that I'm not strapped for time. First off, I pointed this out last time, but unlike the first game, you can actually see the enemy sprites. They are existent, and something interesting you can do with them is you can erase them. If you go far enough off screen, you can overwrite them. That's a completely different dog sprite, and now it's gone. Very helpful later on in the game. If you have a ton of enemies, you can just go off screen a little bit, wait for them to despawn, and then come back. But a lot of the times in the latter portions of the game, they will be so dense that it's hard to get away. I believe this is the one that we didn't get last time, the coil snake, which the coil snake is, you know, just a usual enemy. There's not too much to say about specific enemies like in the last game. That'll come later on with specific enemies. If they're worth talking about, I'll point something out about them, but really the ones this early on aren't gonna be that important. But as I said, there are a bunch of differences between this game and the first game. The story is very similar, where you're collecting eight things that have to do with a song and whatnot. I think the first one was parts of a melody, and this one is 8 different melodies. We have to get to your sanctuary locations and whatnot. And yeah, another big difference between this one and the first game, because they are completely different games. I don't know why I keep saying big differences between them, but is about the game itself. Mother was never localized. EarthBound was the only one of the entire Mother series that was localized. I probably should have gone over the stats while I was getting the stat upgrades, but I guess I could do that later. And we learned Hypnosis. What was I saying? Oh yes, this one was localized. So EarthBound is a Super Nintendo cart. Is in Super Nintendo cart form, I guess should be the better way to say that. And I actually do own the Super Nintendo cart. It is very expensive and kind of hard to find. For a good cart these days, it's about $200. And I'm not gonna say how much I spent on mine. I'll say I got it half price for the usual price. But yeah, I do own the cart of this game. Sorry for the pause. I had to get a drink of water there. I felt like I was dying. But last time we were told by Liar to come back to his house to see, because he wanted to show us something. So let's head back to Liar's house. Ooh, that's very interesting. Once you get to a high enough level, the enemies in the area will be defeated with an instant. You don't even have to battle them. And occasionally they will run away. Will it happen again? It'll happen again. Perfect. So I guess we're strong enough to take out coil snakes without battling them. But yes, we'll go back to Liar Exaggerate's house. Treasure Hunter, it still says the same thing. So let's head on in and see what he wants to show us. You've got kind of an interesting house here. Messed up bed, holes in the floor. Whoops, did not mean to walk out. What do you want to show us, Liar? I'm doing this because I trust you. First, let's go to the basement. Oh, I know how this is gonna go. Creepy guy. Want me to go to his basement. Ah, I can tell by the look on your face you don't want to hang out, do you? That's alright. After all, we're not even related. I know you think I'm a big liar, but maybe I'll surprise you. Alright, against my better judgment, I'll be the kid that goes down into the old guy's basement. Holy crap. This is a big basement. It's more like a cave. Alright, let's follow him against our better judgment. Alright, what's Liar gonna show us? By the way, if you haven't caught on, his name is a pun of liar and exaggerate together. Liar, exaggerate. So, Nest Buddy, I found proof of a great treasure. A huge haul. Yeah, ha ha ha. I'll show you. You're the only one. Come on. Alright, so let's see what he's got to show. Holy crap, that's a golden statue of what looks like a devil. What is this? The golden statue is glowing strangely. There's another ominous sound effect there. If this is a sign of what lies below, I just need a little time. My destiny is to find and dig up the buried treasure. I'll eat garlic and work out to help strengthen myself. Go home now. You're getting in the way of my work. You may start to get greedy thoughts. I think that gold statue is having a weird effect on old Liar Exaggerate. Alright, so let's head on out of here, and I can talk a little bit more about the differences between this game and the first game. Just in terms of gameplay, because the whole story is completely different. I've gone over that a few times, but another thing you might have noticed is that instead of PK, they use PSI, which is just a very minor difference. PSI stands for psionic, and PK stood for psychokinetic. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing, but psionic is a broader term, whereas psychokinetic is a little bit more literal, I guess. I don't know what the word would be. Specific. The word would be specific. But yeah, oh, I guess I could go check my PSI. So first off, we have life up. If you hit, is it? Oh, I guess we can't do it outside of battle. There are specific PSIs you can get inside and outside of battle. Hypnosis is only for in battle, and that will put enemies to sleep. There are different levels of PSI. We haven't seen them yet, but we'll get to those. For example, we've seen Alpha. We saw Buzz use a PSI shield Sigma. Can we even see it? I've never tried to look. I think we are just out of sight of it. You'll see what I'm talking about later on once we figure out what down there is. What was I talking about? PSI and psychokinetics. But yeah, back to the story. I can get very off topic in this game just by talking about the mechanics, the storyline, unknown things about the game, that etc, etc. I just love this game. And I mentioned that it I don't know if I actually mentioned it, but this game is not actually that hard in comparison to Mother, the original Mother. It is nowhere near as hard as that game, and it actually ramps up quite linearly, not linearly, I guess, to an x equals y ratio, or y equals x, south to the suburbs of Wonette. And I pronounce it Wonette because, well, you'll see what the next few cities are. It makes more sense to call it Wonette. But yeah, like I said, this game is not anywhere near as difficult as the last game. Wonette Public Library. Use the library more. I don't like reading. So here we'll come into the town of Wonette. And right off the bat, there's a... Oh! Well, as you can see, cars can run into you, but they won't do any damage to you. They'll just stop. And these guys will get in the way, too, of the cars. So it's actually pretty funny. Let's check this trash can here, because, you know, there's always good things in trash cans. Well, let's see here. There's a hamburger inside. Very nice. A hamburger will help you, or will restore some HP. And this early on, it should restore a lot of HP. And we'll come into the hamburger shop. Here you can pretty much just buy hamburgers. Hello, may I take your order? Smile, smile. What can I get for you? And you can buy some things here, but we don't really have a lot of money, so I think I'm just gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna show off some of the mechanics of the town in this episode and talk a little bit more about the mechanics of the game. These right here are gonna be vital for everything. The burger shops and whatnot, the pizza places, whatever they may be, where they sell food, might not be as important as the drugstore, because the drugstore sells items for battle. So let's talk to this girl. We'll buy, and she's only selling cold remedies, which we'll talk about that later on in the game when it actually becomes pertinent to talk about. But if you talk to this guy, which I should have done in the first place. Hi, come in, come in. What can I do for you today? Let's buy. You can actually buy items that will increase your offense, defense, etc, etc. We already have the cracked bat, and as you can see, where it says nest down there in our HP and our PP, it is white, which means it is equal. If it was gray, it would be weaker than what we already have equipped, and if it flashes, it's stronger than what we already have equipped. So, the cracked bat is equal to the cracked bat. The T-ball bat is better than the cracked bat. The yo-yo is better than the cracked bat. And then down here we have some defense items, which I'll go over once we have enough cash for them. Yeah, whatever. Can we check this without having to do the ATM card? Yes, we can. Alright, so since we have our ATM card, we can actually go and withdraw some cash. Let's see how much we have. $92. That's actually pretty good. So let's withdraw all of that. And I want to go buy a few things. First off, I want to buy the T-ball bat, which will increase my offense, and I will equip it. And it went from 13 to 17. Very nice. And he will offer to buy your weaker item most of the time. Sometimes he won't, like it'll be too crappy and they won't buy it. You'll see that a lot with one of the characters that comes into play, but like I said, we'll talk about some of this stuff later. And yes, I will be buying one more thing, and it is the cheap bracelet. I can't afford it yet. Do not bother yourself with yo-yos or anything besides bats when it comes to nests, because the yo-yos and the boomerangs and like the slingshots or whatever they are generally have poor accuracy or very low damage compared to the bats that you can get, so just stick to bats. And I need to go get a few more dollars of cash to afford that, so I think I'm gonna do that real quick. Like I said, you want to talk to a bunch of people around because their dialogue is actually quite hilarious. And there are some places you can't go into, like this building where it says, psst, whisper, whisper, psst, psst, shh. What if someone overhears us? Right, whisper, psst, psst, wahaha, you jerk, because, hey, hey. Yeah, there's some interesting ones. I'll probably go over the more comedic ones, but yeah. Like I said, I'm probably gonna cut ahead real quick to taking out some people. Here we have a do not enter sign. What's this say? I heard there's a big footprint on the hilltop behind this shack. I haven't seen it myself. It's just a rumor. Big footprint. It kind of sounds like the giant step we need to go to. This shack was locked by someone from City Hall, so we can't use it. The reason it was closed was because a punk named Frank may have trashed the place. What a drag. We can't even change our clothes, and hotels are too expensive. Traveling Entertainer's Shack. Alright, well, there's that. So I guess we can't go up that way yet. We got a mole here. I never talk to the moles because they're generally not that interesting. I am not your enemy. I am simply your average run-of-the-mill mole. Would you like some hints on fighting enemies? No, thank you. Ah, I see. You've already got a good grasp on how to fight effectively. Yes, I do. Because I know how the game mechanics work, which I still haven't gone over game mechanics. But we'll go over that probably before this episode's over. Let's talk to this guy real quick. Ness, I'm doing a watch out duty for the hideout. Can you take over? Yeah, sure. Just kidding. Being watch out is my job. Alright, so if he's in the way, he's legitimately in the way. Once he gets out of the way, you can actually go up here into the hideout. And there's a guy wearing a red cap. Let's talk to him. I'll give you my Mr. Baseball cap. I know you've wanted it for a long time. It's the best cap for someone really brave like you. And that is why I didn't buy the Mr. Baseball cap, is because, well, we can get it here for free. And let's equip it. I believe it's other, and it raises our defense from 3 to 9. So not bad, not bad. What do you got to say? I had a dream about you, and you were traveling with a cute girl. Ooh. If the dream comes true, say hi to her for me. After all, I'm single. Oh, that sucks. Maybe it's because your cowboy hat. You've grown since I last saw you. You're beginning to look like a man. You're so cool. I think I really like you. Well, you know what I mean. Might sound gay. Which, man, I can't wait to get to a specific point in this game to point something out. But, let's continue on. We don't need to go to the library. Library's no fun. I guess we could go talk to Town Hall to see why that door's closed. But, like I said, I will be going over the stats now. So let's go over the stats real quick before that. Alright, so, right here we have the stat card for Ness. If we get more players, it will give us our stat cards as well, if, you know, they qualify. So right there it says level 4, that's our current level. Offense is pretty much self-explanatory. It's how much damage you'll do for anything, really. I think it's actually, now that I think about it, I think it might be for the... Sorry about that certain jerk in the music, probably, but my screen went dim for some reason. But back to this. Offense is... It determines how much damage you'll do with the bash command. So, how much physical damage you can do. Like I said, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Defense, again, it lowers the damage from attacks. You can increase your offense and defense with weapons and armor. I've gone over some of them. Up next, we have speed. It determines who goes before who. So if we have a speed of 4 and the Spiteful Crow has a speed of 34, it's gonna get to go first because it's much faster than we are. Guts is a really interesting one. Guts increases the chance of smash attacks. So the higher your guts are, the higher probability of getting a smash attack increase as well. But it also has another specific duty, and that is it will occasionally protect you from a mortal damage, which is basically the game's way of telling you that you're gonna die, but occasionally you will live with 1 HP. It depends on how high your guts is. Sometimes it won't, but we'll get into that later on when I actually talk about the mechanics of battling more so and what a mortal damage is. But like I said, later on that. Vitality's really weird. Vitality does something with your HP. I think the higher your vitality is, the higher your HP will grow on a level up. I think that's how it is, and I think IQ is the same way, but for PP, which stands for psychic points. Yeah, it's weird. The higher your IQ is on a level up, the more PP you'll get. And then luck. Luck helps with dodging attacks, basically. So if someone attacks you, occasionally it'll say they missed. The higher your luck is, the more often the enemies will miss. Alright, so let's go over to hit points. Hit points is your health. That's self-explanatory. Psychic points is how many points you have to use your psychic attacks. Psychic attacks, depending on which one it is, will use more psychic points than others. The higher level psychic attacks will use a lot, whereas the lower level ones won't use that much. Experience points is the experience we have total, and experience for next level, which your dad will also tell you, is how much is needed for the next level. And then we can press A for our psychic points, or our psychic abilities. We don't have any offensive ones yet. We have some recover ones. It restores 100 HP to one person. Holy crap, I didn't know it was that much. Alright, so then we have assist. It puts one enemy to sleep, and that's all we have for now. I'll go over more as we gain them. Sorry for the pause again. My throat is very dry tonight. So let's take a look around town some more. Let's head into the town hall. I think we were above it or below it. We are above it, I believe. Town hall's over here. Yes. Let's check the sign real quick. If you have any trouble, consult your kind-hearted mayor. Alright, mayor. Talk to me. Tell us what we need to do. Because if we need to get up to the giant step on top of the hill, we gotta go in there somehow. Alright, what you got to say, Holmes? I'm really in a foul mood. Why? Because the mayor doesn't like me. I think I'll just kick back for a while. It just may take me a couple of hours to sign this paper. Alright, so apparently a lot of people in this game hate their jobs. Oh, aren't you Ness? Is it a school holiday today? Have you done your homework? Remember to brush your teeth before going to bed. Have you been wetting your bed? No. There are a whole bunch of statements like that where it's like giving you like the whole after school brush your teeth, be good, and blah 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 and all that stuff, but then it throws in some comedic things at the end. There are lots of snakes and stray dogs around, Winnet. You're telling us. Is the mayor gonna let them just run around doing whatever they want? I'm here to protest. You do it, because they're everywhere. Alright, let's talk to a few people in here. What you got to say? Stop running away from me. Some suspicious looking kids are hanging out in the woods north of the library. Hey! They gave me a hat. I wonder if they are members of the Sharks. To stop the spread of the gang, someone should shut down their gathering places, don't you think? I've started a movement that will stop all of the bad influences on the children of Winnet. I call it the Fresh Breeze Movement. Hum-de-dum-de-dum. Alright. Did I tell you I saw a giant ant one time at Giant Step? Where's Giant Step? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to spoil it for you. So apparently there's a giant step ant or something up there. I work for City Hall, but somehow Mayor Perkle bugs me. Let's keep this between you and me. So apparently the mayor's name is Mayor Perkle. We can't talk to this guy because this bitch is in the way. There we go. We don't have any openings for part-time employees at this time. Alright, so let's go talk to the mayor before we call this episode. I already talked to him, I think. If not, we'll talk to him on the way out. What you got to say? The mayor's office is on the second floor. You need an appointment before you visit. I'm going to have to stop you if you try to see the mayor. She really didn't do much. Whoa, we got an officer up here, though. The mayor's busting his butt with all the troubles in town, like the sharks and the meteorite. Hey, are you the guy who's trying to reform the sharks? Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo! You've got to be kidding. Scram! Okay, so we just got kicked out by the cops. She didn't do anything. So apparently these sharks are really causing a bother. Looks like we're gonna have to take down the sharks. In the next episode, we'll start taking down these sharks wherever they may be, because we got to get up to the giant step where apparently some sort of giant ant is waiting for us. And this was a very mechanic heavy driven episode, and I apologize for that, but I had to eventually talk about it somehow, and I think I talked about most of the things I wanted to talk about in this episode. So thanks for watching, guys. Next time we'll start doing some battling with some new enemies, and we'll see if hopefully we can get to the next, or to our first Your Sanctuary location. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.